This challenge explores implementing a program called Do Not Press the Red Button. Many versions of this silly yet oddly captivating program can be found on the web. I'll show how to implement it with if-elses, then I'll implement it with a list. This program tries to convince you not to push the red button, then cycles through a very long list of messages as you keep clicking on the button. I want to delete the cat and use a button sprite. I'll right-click on cat, delete, new sprite, things. I'll use the blue button. I want to move it to the middle. Go to 0, 0, click on it. In the middle now. I want it to always initialize in this position. Go to Events. When a green flag is clicked, go to 0, 0. I want the button to be red, not blue. I'll go to Looks, change color effect. I'll click on it. It's 25 again, 50 again. The color effect value is 75. That's close. I'll get Set Color Effect. Set it to 75. Click on it. Same color, that's good. Change it to 80. Click on it. A little redder. Good enough for a red button. I'll always initialize with that and get rid of the change. When the button is pressed, I want to display a message. Go to Events. When this sprite clicked, when the red button is pressed, I want the sprite to display the next message in the sequence of many messages. I'll need a counter to know which message to display. I'll keep a count of the number of times the sprite has been clicked on. I'll go to Data, make a variable, my clicked count for this sprite only. Okay. I'll bring the monitor down to the bottom of the screen in the middle. I want to change the value whenever the sprite is clicked on. I'll use change. I'll start it with a value of 0 when the program begins. I want a message initially displayed, and I want a message displayed when the sprite is clicked on. This sounds like a good place for a procedure block. Go to More Blocks, make a block. I'll call it Display Message, Options, one number input. I'll call it Count. I'm not going to worry about running without screen refresh. Okay. Display the message. I want to display the message when the green flag is clicked on. And I want to display a message when the sprite is clicked on. Make a little room. My click count will be 0 initially, and will keep incrementing as the sprite is clicked on. I want to pass my click count as the count. I'll go to Data, my click count, and my clicked count. Instead of using my click count directly, passing the value as an input argument, count, makes this procedure more flexible, so it's easier to use regardless of my click count. And it helps show what inputs this procedure needs. More on this in future challenges. Now when the green flag is clicked on, my click count is set to 0. Display message will be passing 0 for count. Then later, when the sprite is clicked on, my click count will be incremented and that value will be passed for the display message call. Display message will display message 0, then 1, 2, 3, and so on. I want to figure out which message to display. Count will have the number. I'll go to Control, if else, move it over a little. If the count is 0, I want to display the initialization message. I'll go to Operators, equal. If count is equal to 0, go to Looks, Say. I'll use Say without the time, so the message will continue to be displayed. I'll start with Do Not Press. I'll copy the if-else for the second message. Change 0 to 1. Please do not press. I'll need 4 more messages. Copy. Copy. Count is 2, 3, 4, 5. I won't worry about the other cases for now. For case 2, I'll say, okay, fine. Press it again. When count is 3, we'll say, do it again. I dare you. For case 4, we'll say, I double dare you. For case 5, I'll say, oh yeah, I double dog dare you. Run a quick test here. Click on the green flag. Starts off with do not press. Click on it. Please do not press. Okay, fine. Press it again. Do it again. I dare you. I double dare you. Oh yeah? I double dog dare you. Program's displaying the messages nicely. My click count keeps increasing. I'll stop the program. As I've shown in earlier challenges, cascading if-else's get unruly pretty quickly. Best to avoid them if I can when I have many different cases. And I do here. I have many more. This needs to be easier. I'll use a much more flexible approach with a list. I'll get the if-else's out of the way. Move the define down. I'll make a list called messages. Data, make a list. Messages for this sprite. Okay. I'll move the monitor to the upper right. I'll create a new block procedure to initialize the list. More blocks. Make a block. I'll call it initialize messages. No options. Okay. Put it up here. I'll initialize the messages list. Go to data. I'll delete all. When it starts to be sure there's nothing in there, get an add. I'll get 5 more. Duplicate. There's 2. Duplicate. 4. Duplicate. 6. I'll get the messages. Control C. Control V. Control C. Control V. Control C. Control C. Control V. Copy. Paste. Copy. And paste. Move these out of the way a little bit. Slide back over. I want to initialize the messages when the green flag is clicked on. Go to more blocks. Initialize messages. Need to do it before I'm using them. We'll put it right here. I want to see if the initialization is right. I'll click on the green flag. I have 6 messages now. I'll resize it. Scroll up. The messages look fine. I'll move it over a little bit. I need the message displayed now. I'll go to looks, say, I've got a message number. I need to get a message from messages. Data, item of messages. I don't always want to show item 1. I want to show item count. But is that right? Do I want to show count? No, it's not. The first item in the list is item 1, not item 0. The first message the program wants to display is message 0. I'll go to operators, plus, count, plus 1, drop it in. When a green flag is clicked on, the messages are initialized. Display message is called for message 0. Display message 0 will display item number 1 of messages. Each time the sprite is clicked on, my click count will be increased by 1, and that message number will be displayed. So message 1, 2, 3, which all have 1 added to them, will be messages 2, 3, 4, and so on. Looking at this simple code, compared to the old cascading if-else, one begins to see the real power of lists. I want to add more messages now. Adding more messages in this format will be a problem. I'll get rid of this, delete, scroll back over. I'll add more messages, duplicate. I'll clear it out to make it a little bit easier. Duplicate, I've got 2, 4, 8. I'll get one more. 9. My next message. You're smarter than most. I won't try a triple dare. Next message. I like you. I think we can be friends. But you'll have to stop pushing my button. The next one will be, you're hurting our friendship, you know. How about, you're making me sad. Now try to end this. I had a dream last night. I was sitting on top of a mountain. The sun was setting, and the sky was full of beautiful purples, reds, and oranges. And one last message. As I sat there resting, an eagle floated overhead saying, look at my messages. They look good. That's the last one. I'll initialize the list, click the green flag, stop first, start. Good. I get do not press. My message list, 15. That's what I would expect. Long message list. Messages look fine. I'll go to data and remove them from the stage. I'll stop the program now. I have my 15 messages. I want to cycle back through the messages in an unending loop through all of them. I have a click count that keeps increasing and will go far beyond the length of the list. How can I cycle back around to the beginning of the list? This is where modulus can be handy. Go to Operators, Mod. When I want to repeat a cycle through an ever-increasing value, modulus can be very handy since it's the remainder of division, as I've demonstrated in earlier challenges. If I take count, modulus the length of the message list, I'll get 0, 1, 2, up to 14. I'll go to Data, Length of Messages. I put 0 in, run it, I get 0. Try 1, I get 1. 13, I get 13. 14, I get 14. But 15, I get 0. 15 goes into 15 evenly with a remainder of 0. Try 16, get 1. 17, 2. You can see the cycle repeats 0 through 14, 0 through 14, 0 through 14, as the count increases to 15, 30, 45, 60, and so on. The modulus value is almost what I need to display the messages 1 through 15. If I add 1 to the cycle of 0 through 14, I'll get 1 through 15. The change is very simple. I'll use count modulus the length of the messages list. Add that back into the say. Any number modulus the length of the message will be 0 through 14. Add 1, the numbers will be 1 through 15. Item numbers 1 through 15 of the messages will display all the messages. It's ready to run. Stop. Click on the green flag. Have my first message. My click count is initialized to 0. Now I'll try the messages. I've got do not press. I'll click. Please do not press. Okay, fine. Press it again. Do it again. I dare you. I double dare you. Oh yeah? I double dog dare you. You're smarter than most. I won't try a triple dare. I like you. I think we can be friends. But you'll have to stop pushing my button. You're hurting our friendship, you know. You're making me sad. I had a dream last night. I was sitting on top of a mountain. The sun was setting and the sky was full of beautiful purples, reds, and oranges. As I sat there resting, an eagle floated overhead saying, "Do not press." Please do not press. Okay, fine, press it again. Now you see how the program cycles through the messages as the click count keeps increasing, and that using modulus cycles the number. I can keep clicking on the button and increasing my click count as the messages continue to change. 30. Cycled around to 45. Past 60. I'll stop the program now. It's easy to change or add many more messages now. By using length, instead of assuming 15 and putting 15 into the modulus expression, the correct list size is already used. This might take a little more thought and effort when creating a program, but now changing the program is much safer instead of eventually finding the modified program doesn't work right, then trying to find what to fix and all the places to fix. Keep in mind that software will change by definition. It's soft. It is where we want the changes. It's much easier here than in hardware, so it's very important to write programs that handle typical code changes well to reduce future bugs. The size of lists change, so use the length operator, not a number like 15. Remember, software changes. I'm finished with this challenge. I hope you see some of the necessities of lists. I want to encourage you to play with the program and get comfortable with lists. Try changing the program. Have fun making new messages. Try changing the program to use 1 for the first message instead of 0. It'll be a little better. You'll see. Better yet, add a new list to specify visual effects. The list should have as many items as the message list and could be initialized in the initialize messages block procedure, just like the message list is, but with item values of 0, 1, or 2. Maybe a 0 value sets the button size to 100% and it's used almost all the time. A 1 value sets the button size to 50%, and a 2 value sets the button size to 200%. After you have this working, it's much easier to add new effects with new values. Have fun with the challenge.